What's up, everybody? It's Brandy, and I am very excited for today's video because I have been talking about how I want to break down more movies and do reactions of sorts to different movies that I'm seeing in theaters, and I figure it's a new year. I can get back into it. I can do that. So we are going to be talking about Quantumania today because I did just see this movie last week. It was phenomenal, but I'm not going to get into it just yet because prior to getting into all of that, I do want to thank HelloFresh for being today's sponsor for this video. If you have never checked out HelloFresh before, they give you pre-portioned, freshly made ingredients along with recipes set right to your doorstep to make cooking at home and meal prep easier than ever. They give you tons of different fresh foods to choose from, and if you're someone like me that likes to mix up what you eat every week, they have you covered. There is different foods that are good for dietary restrictions if you are trying to eat a certain way or to just get a little bit healthier. They have all of those different choices for you to choose from with their really easy to use meal plan. Personally, for me, I really love the different options that HelloFresh gives you because as somebody who, there's so many different foods that I can't eat or that I know that will make my stomach upset or that I will be regretting hours from when I eat it. So HelloFresh really gives you the option of choosing what is going to fit for you and for your body, as well as a lot of times I cook not only for myself, but for myself and my fiance. So being able to make a large enough portion and also foods that both of us like, there's so many different options here. And given the personalized plan that you choose, you can choose the amount of people in your household, how many recipes you want, and you can also choose those very specific things of like what type of meats you want, or fishes, or veggies. So whatever your vibe is for that week, they have all of that prepared for you. I have been trying so hard in 2023 to get into a more stable plan of how I want to go about eating, and I've been trying to work out more and get on this health kick. So HelloFresh is really beneficial for those of us that have a little bit of struggle with that. Not everybody is the perfect meal prepper or has the time to even do all of that. I know with my extremely busy schedule, I literally have no time to do anything. HelloFresh gives me that option of having fresh foods, fresh delicious foods, mind you. Not to mention, HelloFresh is going to help you save money. Your typical shopping trip, everything feels like it's 10 times more expensive right now, and HelloFresh's prices cannot be beat. It is so much cheaper than going to grocery shopping, and it's 25% cheaper than takeout, as well as the conveniency of I don't have to go grocery shopping. All of it's delivered to my doorstep. It is affordable, and there are delicious recipes like different types of mac and cheeses, which is my favorite. So feel free to try it out. You can click the link below for a special limited time discount. Plus, you can get free shipping on your first order today. Make sure you are jumping on these discounts. It is definitely something to check out. Thank you once again, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this video. And let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's topic, which is, like I said, we are talking about Quantumania. Now, this movie for me, I really enjoyed it. Now, prior to going into the movie, I was hearing there was a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people were saying that this was kind of a step down for Marvel, or they weren't as impressed with this, or that they thought a lot of the other Marvel movies that had come out more recently were better. And honestly, I beg to differ. Now, prior to this, we had Wakanda Forever. Now, I loved that movie as a whole, but in general, when I went into it, I feel like they played too much on the emotion of it all, and they dropped the ball with some of the story. Now, the story of that kind of fell flat. I think it was very predictable. I was not surprised with any of the choices they made. And overall, the movie as a whole, I feel like you could remove it from the MCU, and it didn't really add much to the overarching story. Quantumania, on the other hand, I feel like hit the mark. It hit the mark in both meaning a lot to the overarching story of what's going on in the MCU right now, as well as the movie as a whole being so good. It played on the serious aspects that we got in Wakanda, but it also played on the fun elements that we got in Thor last year. So now when Thor came out last year, that was my gripe with that. I feel like they tried so hard to be funny that the serious elements just fell flat. Like, we literally have a character that is like dying from cancer in that movie, and they're cracking jokes so frequently that it almost is, it's hard to be sad because there's no seriousness involved throughout, I want to say, 90% of that movie. And I feel like Quantumania did a very good job of giving both the funny and the serious aspects of both of it. So right off the rip, I was so pleased with that. Plus, I love Paul Rudd. He is just a phenomenal actor. I'm slight biased because I love everything that he's in, but in general, I think he also just did a absolutely phenomenal job with this movie. I think they did a good job in casting. I wasn't a huge fan of Cassie's actress and her character as a whole. I feel like at times she was slightly annoying, but I guess because she's like a teenager, that kind of works with the character she's portraying, so I will let it pass. But overall, the story I thought was really well done. I thought it was clever, it was cheeky, and it was definitely a movie I want to watch again. I feel like the most recent Marvel movies were kind of like one and dones. Like, I watched them and I don't intend on rewatching them because they were just kind of But we are now going to spill into spoiler territory. So if you have not watched the movie, definitely proceed with caution because I am going to talk about very specific things in the movie that will ruin the movie. So going into spoiler territory, I was so excited to see how this was going to tie into everything else in the MCU thus far, because obviously we knew that Kang was being introduced in this movie. That was heavily shown in the trailers, so we knew that there was going to accumulate with him having a big fight with Ant-Man and what was going to be the result of that. Now, the reason why this is in the spoiler territory is because we know that Kang has surfaced in other Marvel movies and shows and such up to this point. There's been talks about him. So that left me as if you were waiting to see what tie-ins are we gonna get. Basically, I was waiting the whole movie for the post-scene credit because I wanted to know what was gonna happen. Now, obviously, we've got the multiverse, we've got Quantumania, so we know that there are different Kangs. We got that much at the end of Loki, if you guys watch the Loki TV series, that there are multiple Kangs in multiple realities, universes, whatever you want to call it. So the one that was in Ant-Man, we are not necessarily sure if we have seen this particular Kang before or if he is just one of many. Now, this movie explains that he is one of many, and despite him being a horrible one at that, there are ones that are much more than him and just so much worse, which we also get that in the post-scene credit because we get we get a little bit of Tom Hiddleston and a little bit of Owen Wilson basically showing us that the Loki timeline is kind of coming full circle with what we have here in Ant-Man, that they are aware that Kang can be absolutely horrible, and I feel like they're kind of setting the stage for him to be the next Thanos of sorts. And by that I mean like he is going to be the next villain or character or whatever that is going to be their main villain that they are all cumulatively coming together to fight. Now, obviously, the Avengers is slightly different. We don't have Iron Man anymore. We don't have Cap. Everyone's kind of disjointed. Lots of them are fighting. Obviously, we see that with, Doctor Strange and Wanda. We had that last year, that they're clearly not on good terms. And then, obviously, things with Spider-Man went haywire. With the conclusion or the possible conclusion of Guardians coming up, we also don't know how that storyline is going to tie into everything in the MCU right now. And obviously, we are getting a new Black Panther, which is Shuri, and we have to see how she will be mixed into it all. So in terms of when are we going to have the next big fight, which everyone coming together, I'm not sure. I feel like they're starting to set the groundwork, but we're still so far away from that point of everybody coming together because everybody's so disjointed right now. That is to be seen. But this movie, it tied in so many loose ends, as well as it was just a fun movie to watch. It was so funny and cheeky, and it got you sad at the right moments. The story as a whole was, I feel like, really well paced. There wasn't too many moments where I felt like we were at one scene for too long or people were talking for too long. It does seem like this movie is kind of concluding being within the quantum realm. I don't necessarily seeing them having another reason to return, since they got everybody out and they kind of concluded the story. They defeated him to an extent. Obviously, the post-scene credits show that there are different Kangs and that the idea of him is not done, just it is within that particular universe. So going forward, that is to be determined what will happen next. I'm hoping we get another season of Loki that might kind of tie some of this in together. But in general, I'm excited to see what we're going to get next with the MCU. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I feel like that will kind of help with a lot of the question marks that I have right now of where Marvel is going. But I do want to know what you guys think. This started off as like me breaking down Quantumania and then just turned into a full-on Marvel discussion, which I've been meaning to have one of these because like we've talked about it so many times on the channel where I've like gone in depth into these trailers recently, and I was like, let's just have a full-on Marvel discussion because there is so much coming out right now, and I love diving into all of it and breaking down what is next to come. But I do want to know what you guys think. So comment down below. First off, did you see Quantumania and what were your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And how would you compare it to the previous Marvel movies that came out last year? We had quite a few. So I would love to know your opinions on that. And if you did kind of like this react review / breakdown, let me know, and I can definitely do more videos like this. It's slightly a bit of a rambling, which if that's your vibe and your cup of tea, I'm so here for it, and I would love to do more ramblings like this with you guys in the future. Whether it's Marvel or other things, we can always do this in regards to anime, to movies, to game series, to franchises, to music, to whatever. Before we conclude, I just want to thank once again HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you did like this, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. It helps out my channel a ton. If you don't know, I put up new videos here every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern, as well as I stream over on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. So feel free to come through there as well. If you ever want to have a talk with me in real time, I would love to see you come through. But until the next video arrives, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys!